Hey guys, how's it going? It's Breakout Bag Lunch, and today is March 24th, 2026, the second day of the Topstep Bootcamp. As you can see, today was a red day. We're down a little under $700. We didn't quite reach the maximum loss limit, but we did get close. And basically, this was just due to market conditions. The market was in a downtrend, but then it looks like the trend has changed to an uptrend. So I'm just going to go over those two trades quickly and talk about next steps from there. All right, as I mentioned during the pre-market session, we were in this downtrend, especially hour or so before the market opened. So my bias for the day was bearish. At the open, we did get this very strong move to the downside. So my first thought was that this downside bearish momentum would continue. So I went short. I'll just show you the fib retracement. Okay, there's a lot going on the screen. I'll just mark this level as the point of control. Yeah, so like I was saying, we had this very strong bearish momentum at the beginning of the New York session. Because of that, I went long here, right around the golden pocket. And, this trade did meet all my criteria for an orb trade. We had a break to the downside, a close below the 5-minute opening range, move back up to the upside to the golden pocket. We also had a rejection at the golden pocket, and then we also had VWAP as a confluence. There wasn't a VWAP retest at this break, but notice how VWAP is sloping down and that price is below VWAP. My target was for a move to the downside of about 25 points. My entry was 65.88, so I was targeting about 65, 62, as you can see here. Stop loss was at this 60%, 61.8% area for the fib. And at first it did look like we were getting a continuation, but right when we hit the session low, we had to move back to the upside. Because of that, I exited this short entry at my predetermined stop. And the next trade was the one where, this one was actually a bigger loser. And I was actually more confident about this one because, after we had this move to the upside here, we essentially had a VWAP rejection. And we saw price move back into the golden pocket, and because of that, I wanted to go short. For the short entry, this one also met my criteria. We had a rejection at VWAP. We had moved back down to the golden pocket for the retracement. And this goes for both trades, but there was no level of support or resistance in the way. I suppose we did have this point of control here, so that's something that I should keep in mind. At this point, I did enter a short. I entered at 65.93 with a stop loss just a bit above this candle here, and then a take profit, just a little bit below the session lows. Unfortunately, this trade did hit my stop loss again, and because of that, I was just done for trading for the day. These were the two trades, guys. 2 shorts and 2 losses. And honestly, I'm not too frustrated or upset. I followed the process. and it just didn't work out this time. There was a lot of choppiness during the open of the New York session, which is going to happen sometimes. I just have to be careful and make sure I'm not trading too much when there's a lot of indecision in the market. With that said, notice here how we had a break and retest of VWAP. This would have been a nice long entry. Probably just a little bit below this candle. I'd say like 6616, and if we targeted like a 25-point upside move, I'm using 25% because that's about 20% of the ATR, by the way. The daily ATR is around 125. So if I was targeting a 25-point upside move, I would look for an exit at what, around 36.41, which is right around up here. Yeah, this trade would have worked out really well. Since we were in balance during the open, I probably could have also looked for a fade move up here, just back to VWAP. This candle here touched above the 1 standard deviation band for VWAP. So I could have gotten short here and then exited right at VWAP, and those would have been two great trades. But that didn't work out as expected because I lost on these two trades early on in the session. It is what it is. I do have to make sure that I'm managing risk properly for when the signal candles are very large. For example, for the second trade here, I'll just remove this to make the trade look, to make things look a bit more clear. I'll just move that down there. Okay. So yeah, this trade here, this was my signal candle because at this point we had a cross of the golden pocket for fib, which I had interpreted as a further move to the downside. But notice how large this candle is. The high of the candle is 6600.50 and the low of the candle is 6590.75. This is about 10 points in just a single candle. Now, if there's a strong trend, then you can get away with entering like at the bottom of this candle, because in a strong trend, price just continues to move very strongly in one direction, as the name implies, in a strong direction, a strong trend. But in this case, we didn't really have a strong trend. So it probably would have been better to enter at a little bit of a pullback, maybe like halfway between this candle. And same here, even though this isn't a trade that I took. This retest candle has a low of 65.99 and a high of 66.22. This is a huge 22-point candle. So again, if I had taken this trade, it would have been smart to wait for a small little pullback. Okay, that's all I have for today. I wanted to keep this video a little short. If you have any suggestions, feedback, comments, please let me know. But if not, enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.